Hello, everyone. Quick video to detail April 12th's full moon in the sign of Libra. This is going to be a very good one. It's Mr. Meyer with the fire. Welcome back to the Temple Fire family. It's good to see your beautiful face. So, a couple themes before we jump in sign by sign. This is the full moon. It's in the sign of Libra. The full moon is the culmination of the lunar cycle. And what that basically means is we're halfway through. Every month, we get a moon. Month. This month, it's the full moon in Libra. So we start with the new moon. Over the next couple weeks, we'll wax, we'll hit that full moon, and then we'll have about 2 weeks of waning. So that's cool. The full moon is all about release. The full moon gives us this opportunity to be fulfilled within a certain energy. Okay. So the themes we're going to detail today, they really detail a release that's going to be happening where we get to make space over these next couple weeks as we wane and bring in this Libra energy. What is Libra? Libra is the seventh sign of the zodiac. It's the scales where we weigh things out. We find balance, and balance is key. Can't have too much, too little. Some say by definition, balance is equal forces in opposite directions. So Libra also has everything to do with relationships and harmony, love, beauty, symmetry, peace, justice, so on and so forth. Libra is an air sign. It's social, it's cardinal, and we are smack dab in the season of Aries. So it's a new astrological year. For most of us, it's springtime, and this is time for us to express and experience new life, new goals, rebirth. It's very exciting. So I'm going to go into the chart, and I'm going to give you the three themes for this waning season, kicking off with the full moon in Libra on the 12th. And then we're going to go sign by sign. And I want you guys to comment down below which house is the full moon hitting for you. And I would love to know. So this is the chart brought to you by Mr. Mark. As you can see, we have the sun in the chart at about 23 degrees of Aries and the fucking moon. Pardon me, I don't know why that slipped out. That wasn't very Libra-like of me. The fucking moon. The moon is at 23 degrees of Libra. And that's cool. So the moon and the sun are opposing. I think I'm gonna turn the annotations like pink. That feels more Libra-like. Okay, how beautiful. That was much better. Okay, anyway. So the three things that we're going to release. I'm going to look you in the windows of the soul. Pay no attention to the chart right now. The three things we're going to release is number one, old relationships. And this could be platonic, like friends. This could be lovers and romance that we've outgrown. Could be business partners, associates, things of that nature. In a more esoteric sense, this could be versions of your relationship with yourself, your relationships with the world, maybe even ideals, relationships to the universe. We're going to release these relationships that don't serve us. That's number one. Number two, clothes. We're going to release clothes. Libra has a lot to do with appearances and our external world. So over these next couple weeks, you're going to go through your wardrobe, your closet, and start to donate, remove, or throw away things that no longer inspire joy or beauty, or they may not necessarily feel like a reflection of your true core. So that's number two. And number three, we're going to release ugliness. Oh, yes. And I'm going to preface this conversation by saying everybody is worthy of love, even the most undesirable parts of yourself are worthy of love as well. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So I'm starting this conversation by saying you're not doing this for any other reason besides loving yourself more. It just stands to reason that we would probably have a more fulfilled, happy life if we were surrounded by beauty and if we expressed ourselves in a way that we thought was beautiful. So this can range from physical characteristics to characterology, personality, habits. What what are you guys thinking? Maybe make a list, but I'm going to detail this as we go through the signs. I did drop a video last week, and I'm going to link it down below as far as a release ritual, which is actually going to help a lot with number one, releasing old attachments. And I give the ritual steps in preparation for how to really lean into this with some magical leverage. So make sure you check that video out and watch it before this full moon. And if you're watching this video during or after the full moon, still watch that video and bookmark it and take in the method and make sure that you do the work, okay? When I think about character types like number three, things that are ugly, this kind of bleeds into number two, as far as if you were to remove clothes and get clothes that were more reflective of your personality and your style and maybe more high quality. This would, of course, make you more attractive, but beyond physical characteristics or appearance, like, hygiene or wearing a better perfume or cologne, this could also talk about, you know, a lack of kindness, a lack of love or empathy, different ways that you interact. A personal example I've given for you guys is that I'm going to be working on a lack of discipline. So I'll be releasing laziness, recalcitrance, indolence, because a lack of discipline is ugly. Lacking the character trait of discipline is ugly. So I'm releasing that ugliness over these next couple weeks. So that's just an example from my life. I'm gonna go back in the chart. I'm gonna show you guys what's up. So we're gonna start with Libra and we're gonna work our way down through the signs. We're gonna end up at Virgo rising. So that's very cool. And I want to illustrate also that because this full moon is in the sign of Libra, everybody is going to relate to the first part where we're talking about the sign of Libra. So I also want to add that this full moon is square to Mars, detailing this cycle. You know, Aries and Libra is all about I am and we are, balancing my needs with yours, asserting my right to exist, but employing some compromise, not overdoing it, not being tyrannical, not being a dickhead, basically, being kind slash nice. So I want to point out the heavy hitter in this full moon, guys, is Mars square the full moon. You got Mars square the moon and the sun. So it looks like to me, this moon cycle is going to have a lot to do with releasing anger, frustration, pain. The past is loud in this one, guys, because we also have Mercury just beginning to reverse directions from the retrograde. Venus is stationing direct. Had a pretty long retrograde season after these eclipses this year. So there's a lot of doors shutting within our lives and a lot of closure coming up as a result. So let's jump into the signs and let's not waste too much time. Let's just make it short, sweet, and simple. Okay. So the full moon in the first house for Libra. Let me take the annotations off and then we can start to move the clock around. Okay. And the Libra rising people are going to have the full moon in the first house. So this is very meta, building off the conversation we've had. There's going to be a deep self-reflection for these people. They're going to be releasing personal issues or personal dynamics in their life. Everything personal is going to be put under a microscope. If you think about the full moon, it is like a flashlight. It's illuminating. And this is going to be really personal for the Libra people. So feel free to let go of anybody who you no longer resonate with as far as your true authentic core. Anything, anybody who holds you back from being your real self, let that go. Anything that doesn't make you feel like the baddest bitch in the world or like an alpha, get rid of that shit. Whether it's clothes or furniture, anything in your life, just start to reduce and minimize and see if you can put yourself out there with that sun and Aries in the seventh house. And what else we got? Character development, revising who you are. How do you show up in the world? you know, Whether you're overly arrogant or maybe defensive at times or walk around with a chip on your shoulder, maybe you're a people pleaser, let this be a few weeks of redefining who you are and maybe going to the drawing board and spending time in your inner temple and thinking about what's going on. So I'm grateful to mention this in the first sign because again, everybody's going to feel something on this note, but the sun is conjunct to Chiron. If you look in the seventh house, the local seventh house on this chart, Chiron at 23 degrees of Aries. So beyond the eclipses and the retrogrades and the past being released, this full moon really has a lot to say about our personal healing journey. 100%. So I will just say, man, don't be too hard on yourselves, okay? Pretend that you are a good person. And I think beyond pretending, reason with yourself and talk to yourself and relate to yourself. Keyword for Libra, relate to yourself, connect with you, and really take time to hold space for your intentions and motives and recognize where you're coming from and validate your existence. And I think I'm gonna have to drop the screen for a second so I can see you more clearly while I say, guys, the message for this full moon in Libra for all 12 signs is not to look outside of yourself for the validation that you need. The moon is full in Libra, and I'm really happy about this personally. I was born with the moon in Libra, so this one's also very personal for me, even though I'm a Virgo rising. But this is about you finding peace in your own life, you letting go of everything that holds you back from peace. It really doesn't go much further than that. I'm excited to do these 12 signs, guys, because frankly, I have the full moon hitting my second house because I'm a Virgo rising, and I can feel the energy built up into my throat. And I know I'm going to go through a deep release on the 12th. So I'm just super excited to tell you guys about this stuff, frankly. So let's go back to the chart and we'll move up to Scorpio rising. And you'll notice that we're actually going backwards in the houses, but we're going forwards in the signs. So basically, the Scorpio risings are going to have the full moon in the 12th house. So this looks like releasing different dreams that may no longer serve you or ways of undoing the self. This means finding better coping mechanisms, Scorpio, finding more peace with the universe at large. The main focus for this full moon for you folks is going to be introspection. Your spirituality and hidden things are going to be revealed to you over these next couple weeks. The worst thing you could do is be distracted. And you can see that's reflected by the sun in your sixth house of Aries. Pay attention. It pays to pay attention. Be present within your body. Allow yourself to release any friendships or connections that are no longer in alignment with your spiritual growth. If you have any clothes or possessions that have emotional baggage or remind you of the past versions of yourself that aren't relevant, let those go too. And any qualities that you use in your life that reflect self-sabotage or extra secretive behaviors or, acting out of the hurts of the past, it's time to let that shit go as well, man. There's a lot of healing. And Chiron does really well in the sixth house too, friend. So it's going to be a really healing full moon for you Scorpio risings. And I make these lunation reports pretty frequently because we have a moon every month, two moons every month if you count the new and full. But when the full moon's in the 12th for any sign, guys, a lot of this stuff is going to happen behind the scenes and in the subconscious realm. So I will just say that, this could be a really emotional one for the Scorpio risings, but you're going to feel a lot lighter come the new moon in Taurus at the end of this month. And I'm excited for you guys. It's going to be really great. So anyway, moving forward, Sagittarius rising. I'm gonna just kind of, I don't want to say bulldoze through this, guys, but I'm not gonna take the time to, make sure the ascendant is lined up like perfectly, and I'm also moving the moon forward by the hour. So at some point on these charts, pay attention to the words more than the chart. This moon is gonna go into Scorpio as I wind it forward, okay? But we're still detailing the Libra full moon. Anyway, Sagittarius rising, you guys are gonna have this full moon in your 11th house of friends and future goals and associates and groups. So really, this says expansion on all levels, Sag. It's about you finding peace with the world, you finding peace with other people, and you finding peace with your true core, you being okay by being by yourself, frankly. All right. Say goodbye to any friends or any groups that don't really align with your values. Any clothes that don't inspire you or reflect who you're becoming, let that shit go too. This is about you finding peace with progress, finding peace with the increase, I think is a better way to say it. Because the 11th house is the gains you're working on. So this could look like more professional clothes or, you accentuating your style more personally, you wearing stuff that really reflects you and learning how to express your personality through your wardrobe. All right. And like, I think you guys are hearing what I'm saying, but Sagittarius, you really need to have the drip. You got to have the swag. You got to put that shit on to the point where people look at you and say, damn, you got that shit on. Like for real. That's what this one is actually about. If you can do this and reorganize your friend group, this next couple weeks is going to bless you. And you're going to feel more alive, more at peace, more happy to exist. And also, any traits that you've picked up that prevent you from connecting from others, that's going to need to be released as well. Try not to artificially separate yourself from other people. Don't be superficial or impulsive or, too self-centered at this time because the sun is in your fifth and you should be feeling yourself and you should be kind of selfish at this point, but just make sure that you're still opening yourself for genuine connections because there's a lot of good people out here that you can connect with, okay? Anyway, good luck, Sag. Not that you need it, but good luck. We've got Capricorn, and Capricorn has the full moon in the 10th. And this is actually a really beautiful place to have the full moon. And what this basically says is you're going to be releasing different personas, different images, and different ways that you interact with the world. You might release work, you might release roles that you're playing beyond a persona. It might look like quitting a job, it might look like taking another step forward and advancing in your career. This might look like you guys getting more recognition, thinking about are you at peace with the world and are you at peace with the way that you're perceived? Not just by the world, but how you perceive yourself. So the 10th house is a very professional sign. And basically, the release for you guys over these couple weeks is going to be about friendships or relationships that don't really predicate themselves on helping you advance yourself, man. It's like you can't be the only ambitious person in your circle. You need to be around winners and dogs and people that are hungry for more, Capricorn. That's what this is about. And any clothes that don't really make you feel confident, any clothes that aren't really that professional or maybe not the highest quality or best fitting, you may even want to go get some clothes tailored, Capricorn, is what I'm really thinking with this 10th house. And then also, release perfectionism as far as qualities that might hinder you back. Being too obstinate or obtuse, that's not going to be good for you. And that's not going to be very chill or demure or Libra-like. So we're not going to let that slide. Get the stick out of your fucking ass, Capricorn, and just stop taking things so goddamn seriously, okay? And you're going to want to try to balance the hunger and the rest and create some work-life balance with this 10th house full moon. Make sure you take care of yourself and then approach your career and your projects in a more balanced way, okay? That's really what this one is about. And also, man, like this comes from the depths of my soul. I do have some notes I'm reading off of. I kind of spoiled the magic. I digress. But off the notes, I just want to tell you guys, Capricorn, full moon in your 10th house. This means you need to release fears around the world, any persecution complexes or judgment that you're overly investing in emotionally. Just say, fuck the world, man. I love this world and I love myself and choose to be the peace you want to receive, okay? The crazy thing, man, is like no matter what you do in this world, there's always some degenerate person with half a brain cell who's gonna hate it. You could be Mother Teresa and someone's still gonna find a way to fucking hate you. So at the end of the day, you just gotta stop giving a fuck is really the message, Capricorn. I love y'all. Good luck. We've got Aquarius rising, and this is the full moon in the ninth house, all right? The house of travel, philosophy, higher education, and spirituality. So basically, this is about are you at peace and are you balanced in your growth? Okay. This could look like letting go of any people in your life that don't encourage you, that aren't growth oriented, people that have a closed mind, people that lack imagination and inspiration, people who think they know fucking everything. You're gonna leave them alone. And I'm gonna go deeper and say this also reflects the ugliness we want to release. Let's release this obtuseness. Don't think that we've got everything figured out. Always be willing to learn. Don't be boastful, arrogant. Don't have a rigidness to your life that limits your ability to actually connect with just the world at large, not even people, just life. Open yourself up to life is what the full moon in the ninth is about. And this also is about, making your dress and your appearance and your wardrobe a little bit more eccentric. And you may even want to experiment with different cultures and different colors and styles and take an eclectic route, respectfully see what you can take from a multitude of different places and keep culturing yourself and, put a flashlight to your beliefs and let them go if they don't empower you. Speak a lot of love and life into yourself. And I do see with Chiron in your third, the sun in the third, this full moon is going to have a lot to do with you guys' mental health. I will say, where you're going to just find ways to relate back to yourself in a more peaceful way. I stand on what I said at the beginning, but I think for the Aquarius rising, especially with Pluto in the first, at this time, this full moon is really going to highlight a lot about your relationship with yourself. Are you at peace with yourself? What do you believe about yourself? And does that support you? You have the power to change your beliefs. Remember that. Never forget that, okay? Let's talk about the Pisces rising. So this is going to be the full moon in the eighth, and this is actually a very powerful place to have the full moon. So this is about releasing shadows and demons and bonds that you've picked up over time. This is the house of transformation. Okay, I went too far. Pardon me. Let me back that up. The eighth house is the house of transformation. It's the house of shared resources, the house of intimacy, life, death, rebirth. It's one of the most deep and fascinating houses in astrology. And this would look like releasing anything that holds you back from your power. You could be releasing debts, whether that's physical, financial, emotional, spiritual. Coming right with your spirit is really what this is about. Are you at peace on the deepest level of your life, Pisces? And frankly, when we talk about ugliness and characteristics and things to really remove, I'm gonna tell the Pisces right now, man, it's the avoidance that makes you so ugly. And don't take this personally because this comes from a place of love. I have my South Node in Pisces, so I can take 10 doses of the medicine. You should be able to take at least one. The avoidance makes you pretty fucking ugly. You're beautiful to your core. And I'm sorry for how I'm saying what I'm saying, but I'm not sorry for what I'm saying because the message reigns true. And if it doesn't offend you, I'm not talking to you or you're an accountable person. All right, either way it goes, I will just say your ability to confront things head on, you having that solidness about you. This is about the sun in your second. You being a person of integrity, you being solid, that's sexy. You being able to confront anything the universe throws at you, that's enticing. That enamors everybody. That makes you attractive. Okay. But at the same time, guys, I'm going to really illustrate that this full moon in the Pisces eighth house is going to be about releasing toxic ass, draining relationships that don't serve you, leeches, parasites. And you guys are so compassionate, so loving, so empathic. A lot of times you may peep this shit, but you get manipulated anyway because you're willing to believe in someone's potential in the words coming out of their mouth. Stop rocking yourself to fucking sleep, man. Mars is also transiting you guys' fifth house, so you have to be more fucking selfish, Pisces. Seriously. And a lot of people will push back on this because they profit off of your lack of boundaries. Fuck them and their stupid feelings. And fuck their mom and dad because they should have raised them better. Fuck those bitches. And that comes from the bottom of my goddamn heart. All right. Especially people that are draining your fucking energy and money, cut them the fuck off. Because if you really want to help people, stop enabling people to be bullshit people. Turn your swag on and get fucking mean. Like this is Libra and Pisces are naturally in conjunct. These two are very similar, but they have a hard time connecting. And I could paint the picture by saying Pisces want to be so pleasant and relatable, aka Libra. This really does you guys a lot of fucking harm, frankly. So stop being so fucking nice, Pisces. Nice and kind are two different things. So prioritize being kind over being nice. Y'all need to stop being so fucking nice to people. Anyway, this shit got serious. I knew it would because it's the eighth house. But anyway, the full moon in Libra is also telling you guys let go of any clothes or possessions or objects in your life that really mirror past baggages or hurts. Or if, and you guys know psychometry, the idea that everything has energy. And this is also called the law of contagion, where you've probably seen movies and things where like somebody picks up a weird object from a garage sale, and that's like the premise for the whole movie is like, oh no, that box was haunted or something like that. So it's like now I'm telling you, it's like, your ex's hoodie might be fucking haunted. It's like maybe not with like a demon, well, maybe your ex was a demon, but like a bad energy, a bad vibe from stuff that you have from other people. It's like some of you guys, just to paint an example, need to cut these people off and throw their fucking clothes out. Like Beyonce or whatever to the left, throw that shit on the fucking lawn. Anything that makes you feel overly attached to your past in a negative way, get rid of that shit, man. Embrace this new. Anyway, personal qualities that you want to release really is about self-doubt, with that eighth house, like you being too consumed by the darkness and anything like I really think the word is codependency is another thing to release for the Pisces people. I'm sorry I turned the heat up so much for you guys, but at the same time, you're part of the fire family and you choose to be here. You can stand it because you're lit. So it looks like this, hey man, Pisces, there's a lot of work for you in these next couple weeks. So just overstand it and make sense of it and thank yourself as you're doing this because a lot of this may happen in secret and privacy and maybe no one may notice it. As long as you notice it, that's all that motherfucking matters, man. It's really like these next 2 weeks are gonna totally change you and you're gonna go through an actual rebirth in your real life. So get ready to say goodbye to the old person that you are. And like I mentioned, there is ritual instructions for releasing relationships in the description. I've made a really good video, but I really think for you personally, Pisces, you may want to do something symbolic or ritualistic or ceremonial to commemorate the rebirth of your new self. Okay. The moon in the eighth is really a deep, dark place, and it's important that you ride for yourself on the deepest level. No matter how confused you are, no matter how hurt you are, show yourself that you got your own back and deepen your relationship and trust with yourself. Eighth house, full moon, Pisces. Okay, anyway, moving forward, we got Aries rising, and this is the full moon in the seventh house, and this is the house of partnerships, relationships, marriage, beauty, symmetry, all the Libra stuff. Very cool. So basically, this is about releasing relationships you've outgrown. Anything that's not, pardon me, not reciprocal, not, symbiotic. If it feels like things aren't equal, not balanced, you're either going to need to make sure that you do some revision or some release. Okay. Specifically, Aries rising, you're going to want to watch that video in the description and work on releasing romantic attachments and letting the pains of the past and any energies you hold from ex-lovers, let it go. Okay. And then also the old clothes. Release anything in your wardrobe that doesn't make you feel beautiful. That's really the energy. Libra in the seventh is like you need to feel attractive. And I also encourage you guys to make sure your mirrors are clean wherever you have a mirror. If you don't have a mirror, this is your sign to go get a nice mirror so you can look at yourself and it's going to actually improve the relationship you have with yourself and acknowledge yourself when you see the mirror. It's your season, Aries rising, Aries in the first house. So a lot of this has to do with healing your self-image. Who the hell do you think you are? I implore you, I beg of you. I'm damn near about to get on my knees, fam. Pause. No diddy. Resume. Choose to see yourself in a more positive and beautiful way, okay? As far as releasing any ugliness or pain or maladaptive behaviors, I think this has a lot to do with releasing anger, impulsivity, irresponsibility, or maybe if you're overly fucking competitive, that's something to really tone down. I think arrogant is better than shy, but at the same time, let that Aries swag come out a little bit, man, and work on harmony and balance with other people. And what's the ugliest part of you, Aries? It's something for you to think about and how, you know, I really feel like I might get some heat for this video. And frankly, I don't give a fuck. I can handle it. I'm Mr. Meyer with the fire. But um, what's the ugliest part of yourself? If you can't fucking change it, I think it goes without saying, but I'm gonna say, learn to love and accept that part of yourself. If there's something ugly or unattractive about yourself, whether it's a personal quality, appearance, behavior, work on changing it from a place of self-love. Let's goddamn go, Aries. I love you. Anyway, now we're going to Taurus rising, and this is the full moon in the sixth house of work, health, routine, and schedule. So really, this is about you balancing your energy and finding peace in the day-to-day work-life balance. So Taurus rising, slow and steady is going to make the race. You may even win the race, hopefully. Steadfast pace. This could also look like letting go of jobs, letting go of bad habits, letting go of things that really just destroy you. And I think this really, I'm trying to keep the map in my mind really simple, like one, two, three, relationships, possessions and wardrobe, and then qualities. But a lot of these may kind of go hand in hand, man. It's like the bad behaviors and the addictions, they're definitely unattractive qualities at the same time. So allow yourself to be more balanced and really be more impeccable in the way that you show up in your life. Take better care of yourself, Taurus rising, is really what this is about. Find healthier modes of escape. The sun is in your 12th. You will probably want to be spending more time alone at this time. Some of you guys may be kind of busy in these next couple weeks too. But anyway, This is about you letting go of people that aren't supporting your well-being and your personal growth. Anybody that you may feel like is leeching off of you or is overcritical, people that are just hateful for no goddamn reason. It's like you don't need extra hate in your life when you're trying to better yourself and trying to improve yourself. If people aren't coming to you with kindness, let them go. And I'm also getting this energy for the Taurus rising that it's this generalized openness to other people's criticism that you're going to start to balance, where you can listen to people. I advocate for that, but stop giving a fuck about other people's criticism of yourself. You can listen to create harmony, but your voice matters the most, okay? Anyway, anything that doesn't support your health and your lifestyle that you want to embody, you're going to need to get rid of it. And I also see that for you Taurus risings, you're going to want to make sure your wardrobe has enough active wear and, gym clothes and even more comfortable clothes, better fitting clothes that make you feel healthy and sexy and alive and also carries some form of professionalism. As far as those bad habits, those personal qualities, you need to stop the self-sabotage. You got to stop the procrastination, stop being so stubborn, stop being so reluctant to ask for help, and stop being in denial. And that doesn't apply to anybody here, by the way, because none of you guys are in denial, and you've never been in denial, and you never will be in denial, I'm sure. So there is ninth house, or I'm sorry, number nine. This is Gemini. Gemini rising. This is the full moon in the fifth house. I mentioned this earlier, but because I'm winding the clock forward, you may see the moon kind of go into Scorpio, but it's the full moon in Libra in the fifth house, Gemini. And this is about you releasing, this is the fifth house of creativity, self-expression, and romance. So you releasing anything that holds you back from being you. I could really just say this, holding you back. Any relationships that limit your creative expression, really boring and unamusing people, or people that don't want to give you love, because this is a very romantic house as well. I think for some people, Gemini specifically, that are partnered, this is going to look like you putting a flame back in your relationship and you guys starting to date each other again and creating excitement and fun because things can get routine and mundane. So you're going to need to make sure it's balanced and that there's some equal give and take in that house of romance. And that also your friends and your associates actually validate your existence. People that actually love and care about you. It's about loyalty, keyword for the fifth. Release anybody who's not loyal to you, Gemini. Be loyal to yourself and then also ask yourself, are you really loyal to the friends in your life? Because there's two sides of Libra, right? Are you giving to others that are your friends or lovers what you expect to receive? And I hate to say this, but I'm going to make it deep. Some of you guys do not provide others what you expect from that. And that's why you're always seeming to fall short in relationships. You're unwilling to provide what you expect from other people. And that's going to have to change. You're either going to have to lower your expectations and stop fucking complaining or do better. Pick your poison, man. At the end of the day, you got to have a better relationship with yourself. And as far as releasing objects, clothes, anything that's holding you back from being fun or being yourself, like any fits that don't, if you don't got that shit on, man, don't wear it at the house, okay? Is really the message, Gemini rising. Like, invest in style, be more playful, be more creative, and have a more fun way of expressing yourself. Like, when you're going through your clothes, the question is, does this inspire joy in me? And if it doesn't, it's time for you to donate that or get rid of it, okay? And then as far as character development, you guys are going to want to stop being so all over the place. You can be extra and be loud, and I encourage you to be fully yourself, but just don't be distracted. Be a person who lives through the heart and allow yourself to be authentic. Ground yourself in your self-expression and your romantic connection. Keep loving yourself and keep loving the world. Because really, I think the word is superficial or fake. You just want to really be yourself, and that's the most beautiful thing you could literally be, Gemini. So I love you, and I hope this helped. Let's talk about Cancer rising. Cancer rising has the full moon in the fourth house. I'm super excited about that. Am I bugging? No, I'm not. I'm not. I was looking at the Scorpio moon. It's supposed to be the Libra moon, but I'm winding the clock forward. Confused myself. Anyway, Fourth house full moon. This is the house of home, domestic life, our family, our roots, our cares, our personal connections. So really, the moon is home here, and this is for Cancer rising. It's probably one of the best full moons of your year with the moon at home. Is about you feeling at home. You releasing any inner securities, insecurities that hold you back from feeling at peace with life. Be at peace with yourself. Question also is, are you at peace with the people close to you? The themes here may be about outgrown relationships and family, close friends, people that may have already been to your house and spend time inside of your heart, anyone draining you, not nurturing you, not reciprocating your energy. I'm also getting the vibe of maybe y'all need to call home, call your family, call some close friends, make sure you're reciprocating energy as well. And anyway, uncomfortable clothes that need to be removed, anything that you possess, clothes or possessions that have emotional baggage, time for you to get rid of it. I'm also getting this idea of creating a shrine for you guys, a home altar, nostalgic things from the past. It's great to accentuate those and appreciate those if they do inspire joy. Personal qualities, anything ugliness that needs to be released. I'll let you guys decide. You want to think about what's the ugliest part of myself that I can change, work on changing that, becoming more attractive. But at the same time, this full moon in the fourth has everything to do with, attachment styles and you being codependent or overly emotional, moody, defensive, trying to self-protect too much to the point where people can't even really get in to connect with you. I'm not telling you to keep your front door wide open, literally and symbolically all the time, but I'm just saying, let your fucking guard down a little bit so people can love you, Cancer. Just bottom line. Don't be stupid or naive and just take care of your own heart, okay? Anyway, I love you and I hope you do well. I know you'll do well. I just hope you smile a lot during this cycle. That's really my hope for you. And we have the Leo rising. Very fun. We're at the back half of the wheel. A couple more, two more. So Leo rising, this is going to put the full moon in your third house of communication, environment, and siblings and familiar places and faces. And this is going to be all about you finding peace where you are and where you go, wherever the road takes you, and also communicating in a more beautiful and balanced and luxurious way. So make sure you understand it's not what you say, it's how you say it. It's when you say it. It's where you look when you say it. It's how you talk with your body. It's your hands, how you position yourself. It's how you give your life to the world. Most communication is nonverbal. So remember that, Leo rising. This couple weeks is all about you improving your communication. So back to the chart. Whoops. This is going to be about you releasing people that you really can't communicate with, where messages get sent unreceived, people not really getting the message when you're trying to connect. This could also be about releasing any toxic patterns or relationships when it comes to your siblings or your neighbors or the people that you interact with on a daily basis, maybe at the work. And you being more charming as you get around, more graceful is what this is about too. The ninth house, Sun and Chiron, this is about you healing your experience with growth as well and letting go of the clothes that don't reflect your personality, that don't make you feel confident. And really, what I'm getting with this third house energy, when it comes to your clothes, Leo rising, make sure your clothes actually fit you. I don't know what that means to you, but you could, of course, take the example of maybe the clothes are really too tight or shrunk and they restrict your mobility. And I remember the first time I was buying like business suits and trying them on. Some of them would look really good, but I couldn't raise my arms past a certain point. So it's like that same kind of energy. Any clothes that restrict you, or maybe even on the complete opposite spectrum, clothes that are really too big, that don't really allow you to communicate your presence or your body, clothes that kind of hide you. It's like there's a mood for everything and a time for every mood. So sometimes, you want to wear the baggy hoodie and sweats or whatever, but make sure your clothes fit you is the message among other ones. And personal qualities, the the Leo energy, the ego drive. Make sure you aren't too self-centered to the point where you become self-deprecating and overly critical or grandiose, braggadocious. atrociously arrogant, overly dramatic or controlling in conversations. Allow people to talk to and listen to them. And, you know, I'm checking myself because this has everything to do with you communicating more beautifully. And I just realized that I use those filler words. So, what filler words are you using, Leo Rising? What are you using? You need to cut these out. Cut the out, the basically, the type shit, the things of that nature. These inefficiencies in communication makes it harder for people to listen to you. And you have a vibrant, fiery, beautiful, warm energy. And if you could communicate with more clarity and be more concise and to the point, people would actually have a better experience of listening to you too. So that's worth mentioning, okay? So anyway, this is the part I like the most. This is Virgo rising. Hi, it's me again, Margaret. God, I'm feeling weird things in my body. The full moon is in my second house. So pay no attention to it being in Scorpio. It's really the full moon in Libra on the 12th. Just don't pay attention to the clock face. But anyway, Virgo risings, like us, we have the full moon in Libra hitting our second house of finances, values, self-worth, possessions, and belongings. So it's about releasing, I love this. It's about releasing everything that holds us back from being rich or feeling rich or loving ourselves. This could look like releasing debt. You do have the eighth house sun transit, Chiron in the eighth. This is about repairing your relationship with trust, trusting yourself, trusting the world, trusting others more, so you can actually form good bonds and have good investments in this world. This could be about releasing. Let me say that this is about releasing relationships or financial ties that don't align with you anymore. And this could be any partnership that you've picked up along the way, people that aren't really solid, people that lack integrity, people that you don't have similar values with, they need to be released, okay, over these next couple weeks. And frankly, a lot of us are going to be releasing things from the past, people we might not even associate with already, but we're going to release these energies. So, speaking of releasing clothes, if you're still holding on to clothes or possessions that you had from these people, or maybe they owned at some point, it's time to move those things on too. And release any clothes that don't reflect your sense of style or your self-worth, and especially things that don't fit you physically or emotionally. The second house is ruled by Venus, and this Virgo rising is about you actually stepping up the quality of your wardrobe. And I forget who this idea originated from, but there's an idea of like a 33-piece wardrobe. And it's not the most important that it's 33 pieces specifically, but the idea is if you can limit the amount of clothing articles that you have, theoretically, the clothes that you do have would be of higher quality and they would matter a lot more to you. So I challenge the Virgo risings to go through their clothes and minimize it, simplify it, reduce this, donate, give away some clothes, pitch some of the things that might be tattered, worn, and just not viable anymore, and then give yourself permission to splurge a little bit. I will say you can either be rich or you can act rich, or you could be both, technically. We don't got to think in either or. I'm just saying use this with some nuance because the full moon's in your second house, and the true core of this lunation for us, Virgo risings, is about living a stable life that supports our integrity and our well-being and our security is the second house. So my point is this, guys. It might feel really good to spend thousands on Dior shoes, but if you haven't even built an emergency fund yet to pay your rent up for some months, maybe buying those shoes is a true reflection of your priorities being fucked up. All right, and this leads me to the next point is that as far as us releasing ugliness, when I asked the Virgo rising, what ugliness can you release from your life? You might have too many answers because, Virgo is the most self-critical and self-doubting sign. So, for instance, I would strongly recommend the Virgo risings release this tendency towards wanting perfection all the time and being overly self-critical and embrace a more compassionate attitude towards your own life and a better view of your own abilities and worth. And be a person of integrity. That's the second house. and the eighth house sun is about integrity and power. So, hey, man, I love you enough to tell you stop being a fucking bitch. And I'm not talking about like an arrogant, mean bitch. I'm talking about the weak, small, scared, wimpy bitch. Keep your word to yourself and keep your word to others. When you say you're going to do something, fucking do it. Because this weak voice that you let guide and direct your decisions, it's not fit to run your destiny. And if you keep listening to it, you're just going to be a shell of a human and no one's going to benefit from you playing small. Stop being a bitch, love yourself, put that shit on. I'm talking about the drip, donate the bullshit clothes, and invest in your financial future. Okay? And do things that show love to yourself. My spirit guides are like, damn, bro, what got into you? It's the Aries sun made me speak a little bit more passionately and aggressively, but that's the full moon for the 12 signs. It's Libra, so love yourself, find peace. Libra is about relationships. Your most important relationship is how you relate inwardly to yourself. Never forget that. Peace be with you, peace be with your spirit. And when you leave this video, I want you to think about the world being at peace because if everybody in the world